Why is it getting the music now? We're not playing
Okay.
now.
Alright, turn your thing down. Now we're good. Alright, let's go live in 3, 2, 1.
Alright.
That was the wrong scene. Sorry about that, y'all. Suddenly, my microphone decided to just not work. It was literally like working. I could see this microphone was working. I could see the desktop audio was working. Let me turn down the music. And then suddenly just the mic stopped working. Literally the moment I went live. So very sorry about that. Sorry for the delay. Let me go ahead and go full screen here. As soon as I turn this all off. So today we are going to have a lot of fun. We have a very special thing planned. We are going to be talking about what we want to do when we are rich. And the rules we created for this was, and for those of you who don't know, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Ridge's wife, Hannah. We've been married a super long time.
A super long time, coming up on 10 years. That's insane. Like, if you make it to that point, you're stuck until it just becomes tragic that you have to divorce, or you end up killing each other, or you just stay together till you die. So
it's either dramatic or really boring. I think we're taking the really boring route.
I think that's true. I think we're taking the really boring route. But anyway, so we decided for this live stream what we wanted to do was to talk about what we want to do when we're wealthy. And the rules we created for this isn't a if we won the lottery tomorrow. This is like 10, 15, 20 years once we've worked through all the business stuff and we've actually gotten to the point that we're financially independent and we have made it. So it isn't like, oh, well, obviously pay off debt, pay for a car, get something. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking
not the
about
one-time things, but like what we would want on a continual basis of what we'd be doing.
Well, I have a couple one-time bases, but it's not like take care of the obvious thing, pay off debt, things like that. Not like if we just got tons of money tomorrow. It's what we want to do once we are truly wealthy and not fake wealthy. So I'm going to pull up my list here if I can find it on my new phone. And you guys in the chat, please feel free to post what you want, and we'll read through them too and discuss them, because I'm sure you guys have some awesome stuff. Excuse me. So my number one thing that I'm going to do once I am wealthy will be traveling. And there's a couple places specifically, and so I'll just break them down specifically, hold on. Let me see something here. I think we probably have a feedback loop. There we go. Sorry about if there was a weird feedback loop, guys, there. I realized we had the background one turned on, but I had the desktop audio turned down, so we should be fine. My thing that I would want to do would be go to New York. And it's not for me. It's Sean really wants to go see the Statue of Liberty. So our oldest boy, Sean, and I think it would just be awesome to take a road trip in a small RV or even just fly and go take just a frickin' tour bus and go see the Statue of Liberty. And I mean, I'd like it myself too. Obviously, Wolverine fought there. So
I want to go to like the Natural History Museum and all those places that like our kids would just lose their minds over, especially Sean. But I know the other two would just have a ball. So
yes, Natural History Museum. Yep. Terry says when we're financially stable. LOL. Yes, financially stable. That's the whole point. It's the whole point. So what is your first one that you have written down?
Mine is a little less flashy than that. It's just designing and outfitting a good sewing room.
Nice. Are you not happy with yours?
Oh, you know that I'm always 100% content.
Absolutely.
All the time.
Absolutely.
No, behind that black curtain, I have a couple of old sewing machines and a surgery that I can't get to work, and it's all a big jumbled mess, and I'm always cutting and having to work around my children, and
that black screen isn't always there. I take it down a lot.
Having a dedicated space for that would be really nice, because after 18 years of sewing, it's like the one thing that has really stuck with me as far as hobbies go. I like creating things. So yeah, that's probably my... And mine isn't
Nice.
really in order of importance. It's just the first thing that came to my mind.
Right. Yeah, and mine are not in any particular order. Just go ahead and post in the comments below if you guys are watching right now, like what you would want, like what would be your number one thing. Like once you're financially stable, it's not paying off debt, it's not paying off your home, all of that's taken care of, it's not investing. This is like for you, the fun thing. And I think this is important for us to have these goals and these visions and these things that we're like, yeah, that would be really nice. And it's actually, I find it really interesting because if you were to ask me this list years ago, it would have been like, buy a new truck, buy a new camera, have an awesome house. But my after going through this journey to wealth and stuff, my goals have really, really freaking changed.
Mm-hmm.
To like, I'm fine with my truck as long as it doesn't break down, which it tends to do.
I think as our family has like grown and changed too, like our priorities have just evolved.
Yeah.
Kind of like years ago, we had a big goal of like moving to the country,
Mm-hmm.
and now come to find out, once we got over some of our hangups about living in town, we actually really like it.
Yeah.
We like the proximity to
Yep.
stuff in town. We like actually being able to not just be friends with our neighbors, but see them a lot. And
Yeah.
so, things have just changed with us over time. And
Yeah.
that's good to just always be evaluating. And
Yeah.
who knows, by the time we actually are really wealthy, these might totally change too. But
Yeah. Yep.
it's good to have some
Anyway,
goals.
so, what I've learned over the journey to wealth is that experiences are more important than stuff. So I've stopped desiring stuff so much and have just been happy with what I have. Like, does it work? Then it's fine. I don't need the new flashy trucks. I don't need the new flashy cars. I just need a car that can get me from point A to point B and has a good radio. And sometimes I really like to crank it up and jam out to some Skrillex or some heavy metal. So, some of the young kids will be like, Skrillex? Dubstep? What is that? So,
Dubstep still a thing.
dubstep is not a thing right now. Dubstep is not a thing right now. Let's see here. Your dad just joined. Welcome, Dad. Let's see here. So then, so if you guys aren't going to post what your number one thing is, we're just going to go ahead and move on to our number two. And just feel free to post like something that you would want to do
Yeah, we're getting
once
a
you
couple.
become wealthy.
Oh, Dad
See
stole
here.
one of mine.
Okay. Well, what was Dad's here? Yeah, invite multiple people to the States for a reunion and pay their way. Oh, right? So I've had this dream, Dad, of like once I become wealthy, like renting an awesome house on the beach and paying people like $500 so that if they can afford to take time off work, and also paying for.
It's literally one of mine that I wrote down.
It's literally one of hers. So, Dad, you stole Hannah's. But anyway, so that way they can just go all the way down. Everybody can come to like this awesome beach house, and we can go surfing or wakeboarding during the day,
Or
and have people like cater, like crab cooks and stuff.
maybe,
That was mine. But
maybe a mountain house where everyone can do some sports out in the snow and then come back for hot tubs and fireplace.
yeah,
and
I suppose that too.
that kind of deal.
Different. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome to see Ross just jumped in here. Fritz Jones, I actually just subbed to his channel. He does some awesome stuff. If you're interested in anything about investing, he does some awesome videos. Thank you for stopping by, Fritz. Let's see here. So my second thing that I want to say here is, I want to say, I want to read a couple more of these here. Fritz says, spending more time with family and going to the beach. Hey, so
Yeah,
see the beach.
right?
I'm telling you, the beach
Hey,
is winning over the mountains.
Turns out a lot of these
We live in the
people like
mountains
their
all the
family.
time. We live in the mountains all the time. So the beach is like where I would like to be. I've never been. I've been
It
to.
depends on the beach. Depends on the
That
beach.
is true. It would be the expensive one, but we're rich. We can do that now. So
Why go to the beach when you got your own beach?
that's right. Okay. And then my second one, and like I said, this is still kind of part of the first one, but I really want to go to Greenland. Not Iceland, Greenland. There's just something about the idea of one of our largest section continents only has like 2 small shipping towns on it.
It's not technically a continent, but
Yeah, but it's a huge lot of
large-
land.
Yeah.
And it's just some of the
Isn't it
scenery is
landmass?
beautiful. Like there's Google Trail on it, so you could actually see some of the small towns that are there, and it's just so fascinating. Little restaurants and churches and schools. It's just so quaint and small, and everything's covered in ice, and I don't know. And then just patches of grass. I mean, it just seems so cool. I mean, don't get me wrong, Iceland and Ireland obviously too, but I I think it would be amazing, and obviously Rosh agrees with me here, so Greenland would be amazing. So
All right, you can go with Rash.
yeah, okay. There you go, Rosh. You and I can go together, bro trip. Okay, so that would be, so those two things are kind of my number one. But let's move on to our number two. My number two would be would be to make my feature film that I really want to make. It's kind of my baby. It's called Maternal Instinct. It's about a pregnant mother that has to end up saving her kids from a drug cartel that were kidnapped because her husband was a dirty cop, and they think she knows information that she actually doesn't, and she knows that the cops are corrupt, so she has to try to save them. And it's just kind of like this mama bear goes crazy on them. It's a really good treatment and story. I would love to have that made into a feature film. I've made ultra low budget feature films. Both are on Amazon. Links in the description if you haven't seen them. But it is, it's one of those movies that I'm not going to just do a couple thousand on. I have a couple actors and actresses in mind that I'll absolutely want to have be a part of it. So that would definitely be my number two, is to do my dream of making high end feature films. So, what's your second?
Um, well, my second one is another kind of lame one, but it's one just about like going and taking care of myself whenever I feel like it. Like,
Meaning?
just upkeep, haircuts, and you know,
Massages.
yeah, Ridge knows
spas.
I like a good massage.
I mean, I try, but
and
I'm not a pro at it.
my favorite is kind of an expensive gal, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. Just not having to worry about
Yeah.
like
Well, the equivalent of a guy saying, like, I just want a really nice gym and a personal trainer.
pretty much.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
I mean,
not to
women
say that
want
girls
those
can't.
things, too.
Absolutely,
But-
absolutely. But for me, I would want the personal trainer and a gym to go to over anyone else.
Yeah, I like getting some yoga and a massage in, and
Yeah, definitely.
you know.
River says having childcare at any time I want.
Oh,
yeah,
amen.
definitely. Having
Yes.
childcare at any time. Are you kidding me?
Trustworthy, quality
Yes.
childcare.
Which is kind of nice, but because we have tons of family. Obviously, you can see in the chat here, tons of family
Yeah.
here in the valley,
We're
and
so
they're
blessed.
awesome. We're
We're so
very,
blessed this
very
way.
blessed. But
Mhm.
they're kind of in the same boat we are. They're like they have kids too, and so we just do this like mutual trade of kids every once in a while.
It's sort of just a triage situation with all of us
Yep.
of who's the least tired that day.
Exactly. Let's see
Yes.
what Rosh says here. What did he say there? So it's
Yeah. Massage.
yeah,
Haircuts. I haven't had my hair cut in like 2 months, and I'm starting to look.
yeah.
I don't know. I need to take to the streets or just join a boy band at this point, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or you could just grow it out.
That would be okay with you?
Yeah, I'd be fine with
Wouldn't be
that.
okay with me though. I love my short hair.
Yes,
so.
I mean I do too. I absolutely do.
I just need to get in and get it lopped again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, get it trimmed up. Absolutely. River also agrees that Iceland would be awesome. So what we do is
No,
we
River
go to
says
Greenland.
Iceland.
Right, I know, but what we do is we go hit Greenland. I would
okay.
hit some of those small towns, and then we'd go down to Iceland. We'd hang out there, and then we would meet you, all you sisters, down in Ireland
Oh, okay.
at the Guinness factory.
There we go.
How
A
about
brewery, you mean? That's what a beer factory is called.
A brewery, yes, but I mean they manufacture it there, and there also is breweries attached to their manufacturing center. But yes, all right, sounds awesome, guys. Make sure you post in the comments if you have something else. Okay, so that would be my number two. Yours would be self-care, sweet. My third would be a very selfish thing, but I want to meet Adam Savage and John Williams. By the time I'm wealthy, unfortunately, John Williams will probably be the late John Williams because he's like 83 right now. But John Williams, for those of you who don't know, get that. Never mind. John Williams composed like every recognizable theme throughout the anywhere from like the 40s when he started composing all the way till
no, because
yeah.
was,
I mean, we're talking the Star Wars theme. Obviously, is the most recognizable. The Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Superman theme. Obviously, he created the whole sound of superheroes,
yeah.
Which is debatable, but
he's real good at music.
He's darn good at music. Indiana Jones, obviously, is another one of his big ones, recognizable. So I would love to meet him.
What about?
I went to his concert.
What about like Alan Menken?
Alan Menken, yeah, would definitely be up there. I think he would, like, if in the genre of composers, he would be second. Would be Alan Menken. John Williams, Alan Menken.
Sure.
So, and then Adam Savage, obviously, the guy from Mythbusters. I follow him on not every social. I mean, I'm not a stan, but
very close though.
Close to when it comes to Adam Savage.
You haven't written any scary letters.
Yeah, but... right. We should be together too. But anyway,
you're definitely a fanboy.
Yes, definitely a fanboy of Adam Savage. I read his book. I really appreciate him. I try, there's been so many events I want to go to. I just can't that he's at. I follow him on YouTube and Instagram and stuff like that. I would really, really love to meet him. So Terry asked if he can go to Guinness too. LOL. Just tell him no.
You tell him.
Terry, no, you can't come with us. We can have a bro trip some other time. Okay, so, and then, so...
My third one.
Okay, what would be your third one?
It's just, like, being able to afford doing whatever we want with our property. Whether that's this one or one that we buy in the future, just being like, oh, we want to put in garden beds over here, or we want to plant some fruit trees over here, or we want to put in a new playground for our kids, or things like that.
Yeah.
Just being able to do whatever we feel like doing with our property, even if it's things like we just randomly need new fencing, or I mean, whatever, getting a new barbecue. I mean, we kind of did a I don't know, cheap version of that this past summer when we got the hot tub. We got that
there we go.
and did,
look at us.
Thanks to this guy, we've got an awesome hot tub now, and we're those neighbors, so.
That everybody wants to hang out with.
Or, yeah.
And then everybody looks at me and expects it to be working perfectly and the temperatures to be perfectly right at all times.
I mean, we just don't like our skin sliding off. That's all.
No, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable request. But it's like if I'm not out there every single day, like checking the temperature, checking the HP levels and stuff like that, there's gonna be sometimes we'll open it up and like, it's a little stinky. I'm sorry, we gotta let it sit for 2 hours or whatever.
River's trying to pick a fight with you by saying.
Yeah, I saw that. River's all like, "Oh yeah, meet Hans Zimmer."
Just ignore it.
Just ignore it, because I'm not a huge fan of Hans Zimmer. No, actually, he's a fantastic producer. He's not a composer because he has people compose for him, but he's not a composer.
Wow, that was very concise. I thought I was going to need to take a nap there for a minute.
Nope.
All right.
Because I've met people that have met him specifically, and he said that. Oh, I'm not a composer. I'm a producer.
All right.
So he finds composers. That's why you see the word music by Hans Zimmer, not composed by Hans Zimmer, because he's not a composer. He's a producer. And yeah, he can compose. I mean, I believe he was the composer for Lion King. The only one he ever got an Oscar for, but a long time ago, which was still a fantastic score. Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic, fantastic music producer. Oh, Jerry says he's still waiting for the hot tub.
Well, he'll just have to settle with that instead of going to the Guinness.
Yeah,
brewery
exactly. You can join us in the hot tub instead of the
We'll
So.
have Guinness there.
Yeah, totally, man. It'll just be the bottled kind. That's
Let
been
us
sitting
know
and
when you
waiting
can
for a
make
while. Okay, so that's the end of my third. So my fourth would be, um, I don't know if you guys have seen it. I should pull it up on the other screen here. If you've heard of van living.
It's voluntary homelessness.
Yes, it is. So it's basically, let's see here. I know how to spell this. There we go. So, so like van living is, I need to shut that button off. There we go. So van living is like this, where you turn a van into like these awesome, like, you guys can't see that here. Hang on. There we go. Into these awesome, like, mini homes almost.
I think everyone knows what this is, but
Yeah, but still, it's like, when you look through some of these, like, it's like it seems it's like so much freaking fun. Like, and unfortunately, this wouldn't be a time that we could do it with the kids because that would be a nightmare. Maybe when they're older, they could drive their own van, and then we could have ours and stuff, and that would be fun. But, um, just like, and yes, you're looking at this like, oh, that's basically an RV. And you're right.
look at what that guy is wearing.
I mean, I'm a craftsman. I would love to take a van and turn it into a little mini home. That would just be so much fun to me. I would enjoy the process probably more than I would actually enjoy the living. But that would just be something I would love to be able to afford and do. And then just go travel and maybe just once. I mean, maybe it'd be like, what we're going to do is we're going to go along the California coast, through the Grand Canyon to Texas. I don't know, and see just a bunch of different sites. That's just, for me, I have a bunch of suspicious calls calling in. But for me, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think I would enjoy, like, wiring the van and putting in LED lights and stuff like that.
It's really promising when one of the top results is titled, "Is Van Life Terrible?" That's, like, starting off on a real positive note.
Well, yeah, because it is difficult. That's what Rosh asked, like, why would you want to live in a van? But, I mean...
Rosh wants to live on Air Force One.
Yes. Get off my plane. But anyway, I find that real fun. I think I would enjoy, like, making the van, like, making it real... I mean, for the brothers that have camped with me, you've seen, like, how organized we are as far as camping and stuff. This would just be, like, that on steroids. This would be like the Fast and Furious version of that. Just like really sexy, cool, and awesome. And I think I would just enjoy making it and then using that every once in a while to just go and take like a 5-week trip or 2 or 3 month trip. I think it would just be awesome. It would be something I would love to do.
Well, I don't know Morse code, but I am blinking in desperation.
Okay.
No, I think I can tolerate you.
So you wouldn't want to do that? You wouldn't join me in that?
I just have to see. Good.
You have to look at more pictures.
I mean, it would mean you having to buy a second Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Well, yeah, obviously. That goes without saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you might be able to twist my arm.
Terry, I think probably no kids. Definitely probably no kids.
We're going to be those
for the trip.
Douchebags who just offload their kids on people.
Yes. Well, I would picture this where they would be old enough that like they could come with us if they wanted to.
I can see doing it.
But they would have to set up like a tent on top of the van or on the side or whatever. But I could see them not really being interested because we'd be like, hey, we're going to be doing mom and daddy time a lot. So, you guys can go play in the woods during this time. But
we sound so irresponsible. My goodness.
Hey, no, by this time they would be, I'm talking this would be 7-10 years. So that means Sterling would be, a teenager.
So he'd be grabbing around my waist instead of around my leg.
Yeah, right. It wouldn't be all clingy. No, don't go. So.
Oh, let's hope we get past that.
Yeah, we will. We will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you post like what would be maybe your number 3. Go ahead and post what would be your number 3. Just type number 3 and then just something random you would want to do. Like if money wasn't an option, just post Number 3, and then post something that you would really like to do. If money wasn't an option and kids weren't an
Or
option.
not money being an option, but money not being a concern.
Right, money not being a concern. Concern.
If money isn't an option.
Yeah, right. We're in that boat all the time where money's not an option. That's right.
Well, we go on a lot of walks.
John Hammond style, spare no expense. Let's see here. 2 weeks with the kids, and it was great, but it was happy to get home. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it is awesome.
To me, I think the things that you do with kids are awesome, but they
Yes.
make you more tired. It's not actually a vacation.
Yeah. Yep.
But it's an experience. But when you're without the kids, that's when you're like vacation mode.
Yep.
Oh, Dad wants to visit all 50 states.
Yes.
This,
Right.
which
that
ones
sounds
do you want
awesome.
to skip?
Yeah, right? Well, it's like, that would take like a long time, but hey, if you did it in a van like this, Dad, I can see you and Mom like having a blast with that.
Right?
You know, where every
Especially
day you
where
gotta
she's
like,
pretty much already got that.
yeah, got
set
that
up.
nailed down. You know, if you were just to go boom, skip, 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 and just have this certain pattern, and I'm sure there's stuff online for that. Man, that would be awesome.
Rosh wants an African safari.
African safari. Heck yeah. What do you want to shoot? Like lions or just like view the animals? Do you want to kill them, Rosh, or do you
stay
want
in
to
one
see
of
them?
those hotels where you open up the windows in the morning and the giraffes stick their heads in?
Yes. Every time I think of that, I think of just like the Jurassic
You know
Park
how much
theme
I
being played.
can't help myself, but I want to just like pet every animal.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. I would
I
say
would
that would be
either,
pretty
like,
epic.
Be in heaven or just, you know, tragically die.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Elephants are awesome. I would love to see an elephant.
Terry wants to go to Highland Games. We have those here every September.
Yep.
But actual like OG Highland Games would be fun.
Yes.
Yep.
That would be pretty cool.
Okay, so Rosh wants to shoot a lion.
Oh, Cecil Killer.
And I get to pet it.
No, I mean shooting a lion that's actually like causing problems obviously would be cool.
Yeah.
If you had a time machine, you could go help. What's his name? John Hammond
I don't
from
know.
Ghosts in the Darkness. What's his name, Rosh? I can't remember.
I don't know who you're talking about.
The story of Ghosts in the Darkness in Savo. They were building the bridge across a river in a certain town, and they were being attacked by lions, by the 2 brother lions, which was very unusual. And it was like they were killing hundreds of people and not eating them.
All right.
I can't remember.
Like a really
I thought it was
long
John
time ago.
Hammond, but I don't think that's the actual name. But yeah, shooting a lion would be cool. You know, killing the king of the jungle. No way to prove your manliness. No better way to do that. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see here. I don't even know how long we've been streaming here. About 35 minutes.
Almost 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It
The
was
first
about
5 minutes doesn't
6 or
count
7
because we couldn't
minutes
figure out how to turn
before
on the
we
microphone.
got going, yeah.
Anyway, I think so. Probably this one's going to be a little more boring and selfish sounding again. My number 4 would be start what I call Indie Spotlight. That would be a streaming service for low budget independent films, because Amazon and all these streaming services are not only difficult to get on, but they're also really competitive. What isn't competitive is feature films that have been shot for under like 500,000. So that's what the streaming service would be. So you would get a really unique niche for this, and it would be a streaming service that you can either sign up for no ads, which you would buy credits and then watch movies as you see them, or you would just watch ads, and you would share the revenue with the independents. So everybody would have a chance to have their film on a streaming platform. I don't know if that's a good business model. It'd be something I would want to do, but I think that's would be my number 4, is kind of like giving back to independent filmmakers at the level that I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like I would like
It
streaming
provided a really
platform.
nice opportunity for people
Yeah.
starting out like you did.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Having a place to make a few bucks here and there on your feature film, and they the idea would be is it would work like a social media website because there would be the spotlight reel at the top of films that are spotlighted either for most likes in the week, best lighting, or most voted, most shared, most viewed. You would have the
Or like
scrolling of
newest.
well, not necessarily newest because it would have to be some sort of award or recognition
okay.
that would
Alright.
put it in the
Gotcha.
spotlight. So you have a chance, or even like worst rated would also show up in the spotlight.
Sure.
So like if you have just a total crappy film, it could still potentially show up in the spotlight. If people
Yeah.
are giving it all the thumbs down and the 2 stars, it could still show up in the spotlight, and that's going to make people go see it. So the idea would be in trying to create a community of let's watch each other's films and let's support each other. We're all trying here. Leave whatever comment you want and say whatever you want about it because that'll make the filmmaker grow. But in the meantime, people are still watching the stuff. So I would really like to be able to do that for, that's just a big business thing. And on top of that would also be the how-to YouTube channel.
Yes.
Creating the largest encyclopedia of how-to videos that are 5 minutes or less. Basically, they would all have like a QC, quality control of 5 minutes or less, video clips with quality narration over the top. So basically what eHow should have been or WikiHow should have been, but this would be created by all YouTubers across the internet, but they would be sending in and consigning these videos to the how-to YouTube channel, which I actually already have the YouTube, and I'm going to be talking in less than a week to a lawyer about how to get this off the ground. So
yeah,
that may start soon. But anyway, those 2 things. So what would be your number 4? And guys, post in the comments what would be your number 4. Just something random too that maybe you haven't thought of.
Mine was just the membership and family activities. So like just getting memberships to places and taking our kids to places that individually they don't cost much, but all together, it really adds up. Like getting that Glacier Pass every year, even though they raised the price, and doing things like having a excuse me,
more sleep, more sleep, yeah,
and how much I yawn. Like memberships to like a health club that we want for the kids to be able to swim in the wintertime, and maybe to the park pool if they ever get Woodland Park not totally scary, and doing things like that with our kids, and just having ongoing family memberships to different things, and then just randomly being able to afford to like drop everything and take them to this activity, or the camping is a big one, since I've figured out I'm pretty good at planning camping, and then you're really good at making camping happen.
Yeah. Rosh says cabin way out in the middle of nowhere. I think that would be awesome. Like,
yeah, I have a Pinterest board for that.
Yeah, just like imagine it's like no electricity, so you're like just campfires and candles, and you have enough food.
I mean, maybe a fireplace. Cabins have those.
Yeah. Fireplace would be fine. But I'm saying for
Or
lighting
stove.
would be candles.
Oh, sure. Yeah, and lanterns.
And lanterns in the outhouse. Yeah, that would be awesome.
And
I'd be totally down for that. For a little while. I don't think I would want it for too long.
I think I would want it like, if money were no object, just having a little place way up in the mountains that like when you're just fed up with life in general, just to be able to go and chill for a weekend.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think that would be a good one. So that's my 4th. Make sure you guys post what would be your number 4 in the comments below. Because my 5th is kind of a doozy. Do you have a 5th one?
I do. Well, it's the one that Dad mentioned. They're just being able to pay for like family and or friends to just all come together and do things like renting some real snazzy Airbnb for family gatherings, or I mean, we've even talked about, I'm so sorry, the beer.
Sleepy beer.
We've talked about like with how big the Mallory family is getting with all of your siblings, and now there's 16 little Mallory cousins, and counting, And like the idea of we actually need to rent a facility for doing holidays together. Like if we can ever all get everyone together for a Christmas or anything like that, we might need to rent a place because no one's house is big enough.
Yep.
And I don't really want a house big enough. Like, because the other 364 days a year, we got to live in it and I got to clean it. So I don't really want to, like, build the house that's big enough for that.
Yeah.
But I want to be able to fund, like, I mean, heck, we've got Snowline Acres just down the road that just opened up that's got that beautiful wedding venue. Renting that in the wintertime for a big family get together, you know, Christmas party type thing. Be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
So, but it'd also be a lot of money. So that was mine that, you know, Dad mentioned earlier on and we kind of expanded on earlier was just like being able to do that stuff that brings everybody together without any concern of what it costs.
Exactly. That would be amazing.
So, you know, maybe renting out Dickey Lake Bible Camp for summertime. And,
that would be awesome.
You know, I've scoped out a couple of those Airbnbs. It's like a massive lodge and lots of, you know, room for everybody and a suite for each family and all that. And like doing that kind of thing is really important to me because I like spending time with the people I love. So, yeah, awesome. That was my last one.
Nice. What did Terry say here? Red for stag hunted. Look into it like 8K. Just out of country tag.
Oh, he wants to hunt a red stag. Like
nice.
Yeah, those deer that they have.
Nice. I'm glad that the top of your list is killing things, Terry. That's great.
Yeah, Mirage too. You. We've got some bloodlust in our viewership.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we're all talking about petting animals, and you're talking about killing them. So you know, whatever.
Maybe we won't be on vacation with them.
Yeah, exactly. This is why we don't invite you to things, Terry. Because you just want to shoot everything, and I thought I was bad. Just kidding. Okay, so my number 5. So guys, be thinking about your number 5 while I'm talking, because this one's going to take a while. Having worked on so many vehicles and being a bit of a knack inventor, and for those that don't know, I get it by blood. I believe it's my great uncle, so my grandfather's uncle, was an inventor himself. In fact, he had patented, according to him, and he had had the plans for the train hitch that Burlington Northern has, because they used to use just the coupling and the pin, and he had invented that and brought over the patent to him, or brought over the design for it, and apparently it was stolen. So, and he had invented just a lot of crazy stuff. So that's what my grandma and grandpa always told me growing up, when I would just come up with crazy little ideas and stuff. So, having that gift, that I look at the vehicle and I'm like, what the heck? This is so overcomplicated, it's not even funny. So my goal and my mission when I become a billionaire is to give back to the community, get a group of really smart engineers that truly redesign the vehicle from the ground up. Like, is this the absolute best way to run the motor? I know Tesla's kind of doing that with the battery car, but guess what? That's not going to work in third world countries. So still having a gas-powered car that can be retrofitted for, wait for it, hydrogen motors. Because that's right around the corner too. If we think about it, people are doing it. But guess what? ExxonMobil doesn't like it. Ford doesn't like it. GM doesn't like it. So they're going to do whatever they can. So the goal would be to create a vehicle that is so simplistic with a rotary motor, because a rotary motor is genius. So anyway, I could go on and on and on about the stuff I have, but I don't want to get shot by the government through the window. Oh, the arrogance. But anyway, but the idea being creating an incredibly simple vehicle that's cost effective to give to the world. I'm thinking something like a $7,000 to $10,000 vehicle that's guaranteed 300 to 400,000 miles, like vehicles should be. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, it can't be done. But yeah, if Edison had that, we wouldn't have light bulbs if he had that attitude. I think it can be done. There are some freaking Model Ts, single cylinder, that still run. So they just got greed in the business, and they begin to put band-aids on band-aids and band-aids on band-aids and band-aids on band-aids instead of rethinking it. And occasionally you'd see this German-made vehicle that was so damn incredibly efficient no longer promoted or
Yeah.
like, I mean, trucks are bragging about 22 miles to the gallon on this truck, and I'm like, there were cars and trucks back in the 70s and 30s that were getting that. Like, why? I mean, it's obviously a conspiracy, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, guys. Believe me, she knows. I laugh at these guys, but there is. They make tons of money off of parts and breaking down vehicles and
Yes.
getting you into a new vehicle and getting you into the next vehicle. It doesn't make sense for them to make a good vehicle.
It's the same like engineered obsolescence that we have with everything now. With
Right.
where the old iPhones were awesome for years and years and years, but now they're making them so much cheaper, so they crap out on you a lot sooner. And yeah.
Yep. Anyway, so so just create a really low budget vehicle, really well tested, and then my goal would be to take the patent of that, start a thing, and then just throw the patent on the market and allow anybody to print this vehicle or to make it, and say this is to help the world say this is what vehicles should be. And they would all be blank. I mean, the designs would be blank, and
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I gotta grab something.
So the vehicles would be just real. I mean, they wouldn't have radios in them. They'd be the old-fashioned roll-down windows, mechanical adjustable seats. Oh my gosh, what a punishment that is. But the idea is it would be simple. Like, it's not going to break down. This vehicle will last you forever, and you won't ever have to fight it. I don't know. It seems like this should be a no-duh, but obviously to the vehicle industry, it's not, because they make too much money off of creating crappy vehicles. So, that would be my biggest, want to give back to the world. So, anyway, let me look at the chat here real quick. Yes, exactly. So, yeah, Midwest Invest says, you guys should check out his channel. He's starting to do some videos on construction stuff, which is the type of stuff I do. Definitely check out his channel if you're interested in that. Rosh says he wants to own his own high-end restaurant.
Ooh.
Also owning an art collection. What type of art collection, Rosh? Is there anything to what type of art? Like sculptures or paintings, or what type of art? Because I'm down for that too. I think there would be some specific art that I think I would really enjoy.
I think just being able to go view art collections would be pretty nice.
Yes, that would also be very nice.
I think own much. But...
Yeah, especially with kids at the age they are. I'm sorry.
Security.
We just threw a baseball through Starry, Starry Night.
Yeah. Well, on that day we would just become murderers, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Oh my.
Anyway, so if there was any charity or something you could do, to give back to the world, make a huge difference. Again, money being not a concern, to create some sort of charity or something, what would it be?
Oh, holy cow, that's a bonus question. I don't know. I'll be totally honest. There's not one thing that I feel like I need to improve in the world.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Rosh says mostly historical pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would just buy churches,
Oh my gosh. Oh, hey. Honestly though, the whole having money, that cheap old houses Instagram, If I just had the money, I would be so irresponsible buying these little freaking cute properties that pop up all over the U.S.
And going bankrupt by
There's
owning them.
there's an Instagram account where you can find little churches that are like 30 grand
Jeez.
on like, acres of property with your own private little cemetery. I want them.
Mm-hmm. I want that.
I do. Can't think of a charity that I want to donate to, but I do know that I want my own little brick church.
That would be sweet. That would be sweet. When we do our re-wedding, we can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Do it in a brick church. That'd be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Find a cool little church.
Or stone. I mean, it just needs to be solid.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Let's see
Yeah,
here.
I should have put that on my list, honestly. You know how many times I pull up cheap
Oh
old
yeah, and you
houses
send them to me, and I'm like, why?
Look at this one, and look at
it
this
doesn't matter.
one.
It doesn't matter.
and look at this one. But they're so cheap.
Be like,
They're
yeah.
so cheap and beautiful, and like I want them, and I would do terribly irresponsible things.
Yep.
I'm getting another phone call. Oh.
Yeah, definitely. So that is my number 5. If anybody has any number 5 they'd like to put in the thing, like bonus question, like if there was any like charity, like okay, you're a billionaire now, throwing $70 million at something's not a problem for you, at some sort of charity, at something that you know will be, you're not just giving the money to a foundation, you're starting something, you're starting a legacy that will be remembered. What would it be? So we have a few minutes left in the chat. Go ahead and put that in there real quick. Let me know what you guys would like to do before we wrap up here. We still have 7 people watching. Oh, and by the way, also hit the like button on this chat. If you just scroll up, back, and hit the like button, then you can scroll right back down. Find a cure for the find a cure for the bad virus. I don't want to say the word because apparently people are getting striked for that. But
What?
yeah,
Yikes.
for doing videos on that and saying the word. But
my
yeah,
goodness.
find a
Okay.
cure for that. But he also has the
it's,
sideways
the
crying emoji. So
COVID-19.
yeah,
is what it
COVID-19.
is.
I don't know if we'll get striked for that. But anyway, yeah, finding a cure for that. But he
River
also has
wants
the laughing.
private ambulance service.
Private ambulance service. What does
So,
that mean,
going
River?
libertarian on it.
Private ambulance service that's not paid by the government? Is that what you mean? I don't know what
Ambulance premium.
Yeah. Premium ambulance services.
No, I'm sure that I had never even really thought of that, but that's the whole, like, private business can do it better than the government type thing. Like,
What I would like to see is, and again, this would almost take an act of Congress, but they always respond to money, so money would do it, is truly reinvestigate childbirthing methods. Like, she knows, there are other countries that this is a simple deal. And just like, it shouldn't be as complicated as we make it. And so investigating tons of methods and reforming our medical understanding of childbirth and how to induce and stuff like that, trying to find more natural forms of that, because like I said, there are other countries that have the same fatality rate as we do as far as birthing, but then of course because they're third world countries, they die a few years later, but they're doing something right. I mean, when a third world dirty hospital seems to have the same mortality rate as we do, so that would be my thing. Let's see what Midwest Invest says. Have a foundation to help people homeless or from a ghetto to get up on their feet and help them get into college and start budgeting. Yeah, right. Because it's kind of like the teach them to fish. That's a big one. I mean, there's tons of people that do that, but the problem is if I remember, your name's Matt from Midwest Invest. I'm forgive me if I'm wrong. I think you just quoted on a video today what your name was, but that's a huge one, because I was thinking about that. when I was in Spokane, because I have a brother that lives there, and apparently it's a real Andrew. I was just in Spokane, and
Yeah.
and it's a real problem there. And I was like, and then I was watching The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith today, and just looking at like the homeless problem in that video was just
Yeah.
like, man, wouldn't it be awesome if you could create like these huge concrete covered things that have heat, either from the subway or from the something, that wherever, next to factories where you can run coils and pipes, so there's just some heat, and there's just these giant rows and coves that homeless people can come and sleep, would be awesome. And maybe 2 or 3 faucets of water where people can drink, some of the city water.
Yeah.
That's a turn on for a few seconds and turn off type of thing. So something like that, Andrew, would be really awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure as a contractor, you're probably thinking of the similar things like housing and stuff that you can really, really help these people. So yeah, but that's a tough one. I mean, that type of stuff's not easy. So
Terry says Fellowship Uprising.
Yep, Terry,
And
Fellowship Uprising, meaning creating fellowships.
Yeah.
Focused in on homes and stuff like that.
Neighborhoods
Definitely.
And enabling people just to worship God together. That's.
And then making them feel comfortable within the homes and not have to go to churches and stuff like that. That kind of ties into Andrew's stuff too. If you have these homeless shelters, having certain sections where they can come and learn about God and stuff like that, and then maybe have pamphlets for classes and things like that. Absolutely. I mean, that sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
Will help the spirituality of America way more than my vehicles,
Yes.
but
Well, multiple approaches.
Yep, exactly. Helping the world. Anyway, we got to start wrapping this up here.
Yeah, we got to pick up our kids.
Yep, they're at Awana. So I want to just thank everyone. Again, just scroll up to the top, give a like button, just smash the like button. You guys have all been commenting. Thank you so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. We just think it's really good always to have these goals and these missions in mind, and they'll develop and they'll change over the years. Just make sure they're not selfish visions that you have, like, oh, I want to have a Ferrari. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting a Ferrari, but if it's for selfish reasons, then yeah.
Or that's the only thing that you can think about.
Right, like all you want is that Ferrari, that type of stuff. And if you want it for a selfish reason, obviously, God and the universe is not going to give it to you. So I want to thank you guys all for stopping by. Make sure you hit the like button before you leave. Thank you so much. We're planning on doing more videos like this in the future. And we want to just thank you all, and you all have a good night. Bye.
Bye.